$1,500 coronavirus payments. Will you get the next one? Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at this article from Yahoo Finance regarding the $1,500 coronavirus payment for other states. So it's expanding. It's expanding. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Helping people in times of need? I'm sure we can all agree with that. But the fact that we've got a culture, well, that has got very little resilience. No one seems to have any savings for a rainy day or an emergency fund. It's just not cool. Why save for that? You know what we need to do? We need to get Afterpay set up so they can save. You can save in 10 easy installments. You know, get an emergency fund, buy it through Afterpay. I'm joking, but in some ways I'm probably not. We could probably mark it up as an app. You know, you get an app and maybe you could brag on YouTube, you know, or not on YouTube, on Facebook or Instagram. Look at my my Afterpay paid off rainy day fund. Well, you know, it's just not cool. Just not cool. So, $1,500 coronavirus payments flagged for another state. Which state is it? South Australia could become the next state to offer a pandemic leave payment after similar policies were introduced in Victoria, the ACT, and Queensland. Now, have you gotten the payment, guys? Have you gotten the payment? Let us know in the comments. South Australian Treasurer Rob Lucas said the state government was currently considering ways to fund a scheme, with more details expected to come next week. Ways to fund the scheme. You know they'll find the money. See, everyone has to realize there's no such thing as a free lunch. There's no such thing as free money from the government. We will all be paying for it eventually, one way or another. You know, either future generations will be burdened with future taxation to pay for all of these things. If you're an MMT, you know, magic fairy believer, we're going to be forced, well, they're going to need to start pulling taxes out eventually to regulate the economy. Same effect. We're screwed. We're screwed. Future generations are going to have to give up labor to the state to pay for all of these interventions, all of these support mechanisms. Is it worth it? That's the question. Is it worth it? But people don't care. They don't care. They just want, give me the free stuff. Give me the free stuff. Yes, yes, yes. More. And then we'll all have to pay back double anyway in the future, guys. Oh, it's a clown world, isn't it? The opposition, of course they do, backs the $1,500 fortnightly payments, which are targeted at vulnerable workers who don't have sick leave and who are forced to quarantine for 14 days. Lucas said it wasn't clear how much such a scheme would cost given South Australia's success in containing the virus. Clearly, if we were to ever end up in the circumstances of Victoria, and let's hope that we don't, then you have a potential significant additional cost to taxpayers. What do you care about cost to taxpayers? You're flooding more and more cost to taxpayers all the time. See, this is the thing. I don't even pretend anymore that these people are worried about their cost to taxpayers. They get into power, and both sides. What's the difference between the Conservatives, or you know, the LNP, the Liberal, the National Coalition, and the left side, Labor and the Greens? Well, what's the difference, really? If we manage to keep the spread of the pandemic to the levels that we've looked at here, it won't be bad. It just depends on the extent of quarantining or direction to self-isolate that the public health officer makes. Treasury spokesperson Stephen Mulligan said everything needs to be done to assist in compliance. Nobody should be left financially disadvantaged by doing the right thing, he said. Lucas noticed that Victoria, the ACT, and Queensland were offering one-off payments and said that raised questions around further payments if workers tested positive again. Well, there you go. You can get in a nasty feedback loop where you've got one payment, and then another payment, then another payment. And you know what? Let's just for fun, let's just look up at the Australian debt clock, eh? It's not as exciting as the American one. The Australian debt clock. There we go. We'll jump to it here. And here we can see total Australian credit, 7.4. What is that? That's $7.4 trillion. Total government debt, $1.1 trillion. Total household debt, $2.7 trillion. Private credit, $4.6 trillion. And here's the thing, money, MMT proponents will say, oh, you need government to create money and saving and all these convoluted explanations that are like a mobile phone plan, that are so complicated you might actually believe that you're getting a good deal or that it makes sense. But there's some fundamental things. They don't believe that money can spontaneously, or currency can spontaneously appear. Things can be used as a trade. Look at prisons. Money spontaneously appears there. Cigarettes, smoke, trade. That's the thing. It's an emergent outcome through complex systems, and they hope to manipulate it with their ability to understand a portion of the system. That's the danger. That's the risk with any modeling. That's the risk with any modeling. If you're involved in any modeling or future predicting, you will see that element of risk there, the element of inaccuracy, the further out you go. And my biggest concern with MMT is that it just pushes for bigger government. And you're seeing all these proponents saying, oh, we need a government bank, we need this. It's just bigger government, more intervention, and that leads to less freedom, less liberty, less individual responsibility. And that seems to be the path that Australia is headed. It really does. More and more people are arguing for that. We need to advocate for a step back of government. So this here, all of these numbers, even if they inflate it away, it is forced work that people have to do for the state. It's forced work. You can't conscientiously object to paying taxes. You can try. What will happen? The government has the monopoly of force on you. We've given the government the monopoly to use force against people, and we're seeing that manifest. Some people are encountering that for the first time now. They probably haven't even thought about it. They've probably been politically apathetic and just going along for a ride. But here's the thing. They probably think, oh yeah, it's nice, we need to help people, yada, yada, yada. People need to have responsibility as well. But it's not their fault, Florian. It's not their fault. Most bad things that happen to people aren't their fault, sadly. That's part of life. Guys, that's part of life. You need to prepare. I guess, is anyone in the Scouts anymore? I guess not. So, they're the sorts of technical questions our Treasury Office has been having with interstate colleagues, he told the ABC radio in Adelaide. As it stands, Victoria's scheme is funded by the Commonwealth due to the scale of the disaster in that state, while Queensland and the ACT governments foot their own bills. So what do you think, everyone? Are you looking forward? Do you think we need to make these payments? Do you think we need to make these payments? Or have we just gotten to a point now where so many people are living hand to mouth, it's unfair of me to expect people to have any savings. It's just too hard. Is that too old-fashioned a concept? And I'm starting to think it is. But maybe it could just be because the media I'm consuming. And telling people that they should have savings for a rainy day is tantamount to victim blaming these days. But then, one way or another, guys, government debt, it's labor that we will have to work in. Our children will have to work in for the future. How can it change? I think it starts with education. I think it starts with advocacy. I think it starts with people realizing that they have the capacity to shift the Overton window, to get away from this nanny state, and to advocate and to fight for personal liberty. What do you think? Am I just being naive? Are you all waiting for your $1,500? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve or Kucoin. You can buy a merch from HeiseSays or use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint. Have you got a saving fund, an emergency fund? Let us know in the comments, actually. If you've lasted this long in the video, let us know if you've got one. Don't say how much, say how many months. How much food you have. Or is this just, for crazy preppers? Stackers, hunters, people who want to be prepared. Let me know in the comments. Take care, and I'll see you all next time.